spoke with George W. Bush and congratulated him on becoming the 43rd president
the honor
of the
and dignity of the office to which I have been elected, so help me God.
We faced some enormous challenges at the beginning of this century. Our country was polarized, reeling from the breakdown in our election process and the Supreme Court's decision that brought the long battle to a close. Our economy had left millions of Americans behind. Our government had been vastly weakened, conservative ideas dominated, and corporate power reigned. But in this inhospitable climate, a new organization emerged to help put the needs of the people and the public interest back on the agenda.
Our values from the founding straight through to this day are about the importance of ideas in our society, that ideas can inspire people, they can solve problems, they can transform society.
But Demos was never going to be just another think tank.
Being open to new things, new concepts, new ways of thinking about the big challenges we face, and working on them.
What that means is we don't just put out a report and let it sit on a shelf. We make sure it gets into the hands of people that can really use that, whether that's advocates moving a policy at the state level or whether that's a Congress member who wants our advice and analysis. We make sure our work and our ideas are getting out into the public debate.
Whether that be widely shared prosperity or a democracy that is vibrant, inclusive, and where people are genuinely engaged in it, where you have a sense of respect and responsibility for government and global interdependence, where all countries need to work together to solve problems.
Propelled by the conviction of strong principles and motivated by hope, Demos assembled a top-notch team to challenge our nation's current course and change it.
A generation ago, government policy played a really important role in opening up opportunities. What we've seen over the last few decades is a situation where the middle class has become increasingly insecure.
Demos began analyzing the growing debt burdens of low and middle income families in 2003. Demos's work on credit card debt included publishing more than 20 reports, a book, and dozens of articles generating widespread media attention, 3 congressional testimonies, and ultimately culminated with the passage of tough new credit card reforms in 2009.
The world that Demos is trying to achieve is an economy where prosperity really is shared, where people can get ahead and parents know that they're leaving the country in a better place for their kids.
Demos has long recognized the relationship between declining economic security on the one hand and the democracy deficit on the other.
Traditionally, and still until today, we have lower rates of participation by young people, by people of color, by lower income individuals, by people with disabilities. Through our work with same-day registration and with the National Voter Registration Act, we've been able to help hundreds of thousands of Americans be added to the voter rolls in a number of states in the last several years. So we take great pride in being able to open up the vote to many more people than might not otherwise have been able to.
And Demos helps persuade young people that they should have skin in the game, that they should be deeply invested in the outcomes of our election.
For many, politics has become a spectator sport, and the functions of government merely an exercise in partisan bickering. Demos understands that progressive reform on any issue requires a fundamental shift in how people view the role of government.
Through our Public Works program, Demos has been going into the states and communities where advocates and community leaders have been fighting the real on-the-ground battles with spending on schools, healthcare, education. All of these things are important for most Americans and how they live. The banking crisis of 2008 gave Demos the opportunity to be at the forefront of a debate that we had been leading for some time, talking about how important it was to recognize that deregulated markets can't provide benefits for everyone, and that we need sound public structures to provide opportunity for all in our economic and financial sectors. And for too long, conservatives have been the only ones addressing that question head-on.
All the problems of the world are interrelated. You can't just focus on the problems here in the United States without thinking about the rest of the world.
Demos has been working for a decade on vital domestic American issues, but what interdependence suggests is that each of those issues has a powerful interdependent international dimension, and that Demos's work actually has a global feel, a global impact, and that we need at Demos to be thinking about the ways in which what we think of as domestic policies impact globally and the ways in which global issues impact domestically.
One thing I'm very proud about in Demos's first 10 years is that we, in addition to working on the individual issues, we've created a platform for people with important new ideas and new policy alternatives to come do their work, have their voice amplified, and have a set of good colleagues with which to do their work.
So Demos provides a nurturing environment and the resources for thought leaders to publish and to inform public debate.
Good journalism is central to moving ideas. The American Prospect, a flagship progressive magazine, has been playing this role for 20 years. In 2010, the magazine joined with Demos to form a powerful partnership.
For the Prospect, it enables us to draw upon a pool of talent, pool of expertise. So it really is stronger together than the two would be separately.
I think it's going to be a wonderful opportunity for Demos and the American Prospect both to bring our ideas to ever larger audiences and have even greater impact on the public debate.
It's been an amazing 10 years, and Demos is only getting started. With a new presence in D.C., Demos is poised to increase its influence and impact.
How is the next year going to be defined? And I think that's a key role that Demos is trying to play in collaboration with others to really identify what is the animating economic and democratic narrative of the next era.
I think the organization has come a long way and the country has come a long way.
Having done so much with so much to do requires people, our friends and supporters, and a talented, diverse staff.
We are now poised to have even greater impact, and the need is as great today as it was 10 years ago.
We're entering a really hopeful phase in American life. Things are a lot different than when we started Demos.